Hello and welcome back to Charlie Walduck's obesity, weight loss, slimming and dieting channel called Charlie's Last Chance.
My name's Charlie.
And my name's Mark, and it's 6 days now since we filmed Charlie's first video. We were going to do these every 7 days, but Charlie's in work tomorrow, so we've met a day earlier. In a minute, Charlie is going to tell you what's going to be contained in this video, but I just want to start off by asking Charlie, generally, how's the last week gone?
Good, I think. Yeah, I've had a fairly decent week. I've found it very challenging in lots of ways, but in other ways it's been good. I'm feeling very positive. We've had lots of people commenting and lots of people liking the video, which is lovely. That it's nice to get support from other people.
Now, I've noticed that you've had a haircut.
Yes.
What challenges does you getting a haircut involve?
Well, obviously there's a challenge of getting to the hairdressers or the barbers.
So you don't drive, so you go on public transport or
Well,
walk?
no, it's around the corner from my house. So I walk to the barbers.
So why is that a challenge?
Well, it's just because my knees are hurt and my feet hurt and my back hurts and
so quite a lot of
hurts,
pain
really.
then.
Yeah.
Every time you try and move, you're suffering pain. So what are the challenges actually when you get to the hairdressers?
Well, obviously when you get there, if there's people in there already, you get people looking at you, which I don't like, which upsets me. But luckily I went when it was quiet, and the hairdresser Dean is very pleasant.
Do you think people are looking at you, or do you think it's in your own mind?
It's probably half and half.
50-50, a bit of both?
50-50, bit of both.
Okay. What are the challenges when you get your hair cut?
Well, obviously I've got to sit in the chair, which the barber's chair, obviously they're like fitted, they've got fitted arms, so that can be a little bit uncomfortable.
Well, I've just took some footage of you getting in and out of the car. We're getting in the car, and I know it's difficult, but we're going to put that footage in this video because it will be nice to refer back to that in 6 months, and we'll see what difference it's going to make. Okay. Now, you told me something else this week, and I have asked Charlie's permission to talk about this. Talk to me about toenails.
Well, my toenails have been very sore and very long for a long time, so I got a lady round.
So you've had to pay someone to come round to the house?
Yes.
To cut your toenails. How does that make you feel?
Well, it was embarrassing at first, but it's a bit dramatic to say it's changed my life, but it really does. It makes such a huge difference.
So going to the hairdressers, getting in and out of a car, cutting your own toenails, these are some of the daily challenges that you've got at your weight. Do you want your cup of tea?
Yes, please.
So when you've had your cup of tea, can you tell us what's going to be included in this video?
Maybe a video of how to make a cup of tea. So, contents of this video this week then, Mark, we're going to talk obviously about the results, about how I've done so far. We're going to talk about some of the metrics, some of the things that we're measuring to see whether the measurements are right and how I'm doing and whether we need to reevaluate the targets. And then we're going to talk about some of the dreams and aspirations, some of the things that I want to do. And then we'll talk about some of the other things that are coming next in this series of videos that people can watch and hopefully inspire them and enjoy watching. And to be honest, this is the thing that's going to encourage me.
Well, thank you for that. If people want to know how Charlie set his metrics, they can watch video 1, and there will be a link to that at the end of this video. That was the setup of this whole project. So you've set some metrics. What were the metrics you set? I say metrics, these are things that Charlie's going to measure on his drive to losing weight.
Well, I said I would concentrate on 2,000 calories a day.
So calories per day, and you set a target of 2,000.
2,000. In terms of steps, and thank you very much to Pam for sending the Fitbits, by the way. I wanted to aim for 4,000 steps on average a day. Yeah.
And you had a medium sort of out there target of 10,000 steps per day in 3 months' time.
In 3 months' time, which I'm happy to reaffirm that's what I'd like to do. And in terms of the weight, I was looking at £4 loss
per week. Right. What challenges have you had in achieving your steps?
I'm in a lot of pain, and I know people might think you've got to push through that pain, but I've got to look at it sensibly. So if I'm going out in the morning and trying to crack 4,000 steps in the morning, and then having to go to work and have a full day's work as well, I'm going to be very tired by the time I get home, and I'm going to make myself to the point where I'm not going to be able to walk the next day.
I understand that. Right, so let's do the big reveal on the steps. This is after 5 or 6 days of measuring, because we've had a short week. How many steps have you managed to achieve on average over the last 6 days? And your target was 4,000 a day.
4,893.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's about 20% more than you'd hoped for.
Yes.
And you kind of plucked the figure of 4,000 out the air, and you've almost achieved 5,000 a day.
Yes.
Right, some questions now. How easy was it for you to achieve 5,000 steps a day?
It's been a challenge.
Right, in what ways was it a challenge?
Just because I'm in a lot of pain with my knees and my back and my feet.
Okay, another question. 5,000 steps a day is a good achievement and well done. Was that just your daily routine, or have you done some extra to add steps on?
I have done a little bit extra to add steps on.
Do you think you could put a figure on what percentage of those steps were part of the kind of the base level day-to-day routine, and what percentage of those steps were extra that you added on?
Well, I would say 80% of the steps I've done are probably part of the daily routine, and the extra 20% has been, the extra that I've added on. Although, having said that, Mark, on my days off, I've been conscious about actually going out and adding things to my daily routine.
What's caused that extra consciousness?
Well, obviously, if you measuring the steps, it's nice to see them go up.
So by simply measuring something, it's created an extra level of consciousness in your mind.
Absolutely.
And what's the impact of having that raised level of consciousness?
Well, the impact is that I'm putting more effort into going out and putting in the effort in terms of the steps.
Just, if you don't mind, just tell me what the highest figure is per day and what was the lowest figure.
Well, the highest figure was 6,747.
Wow.
In one day. And
I mean, you're nearly at your 10,000 there, aren't you?
Well,
you're 70% of your 10,000. What was the lowest?
67%.
Yeah, nearly 70%. The glass is half full. Go on. What was the lowest figure?
2,800.
So that was 1,200 steps down on your target. And this is fine because you always said your average was going to be over the week. What happened on the low day?
I had a very long day the day before in work, where I was in work from 8 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. So if you included the travel time there, I left my house.
So what happened on the low day?
I was tired.
Right. Tell me more. I'm not being accusational. I'm trying to understand.
I was tired, and I spent the afternoon sitting in my house watching films, drinking tea.
Right. And was it planned?
Yes.
Was it deliberate?
Yes.
Wonderful.
I knew what I was going to do. I arranged to go out and meet a friend. We had a bit of lunch, and then after lunch, I came home and sat and chilled out.
And it's great that you've consciously planned that, and your plan has worked. In my mind, that's what you plan to do. But nevertheless, the end result of your last few days measuring your steps is a huge achievement and a massive success compared to the target that you set yourself. Now, if you were an Olympic athlete and your sport was steps...
What makes you say I'm not?
Well, exactly, you are. You are an Olympic athlete and your sport is steps. And if you'd achieved 120% of your target, what would you do to the target?
Well, you'd probably look to move the target up.
How do you feel about moving your target up?
What, to 5,000, say?
Any amount. How would you feel about increasing the target now, today? By any amount?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. What would you like to increase it by?
We'll increase it to 5,000 a day.
Do you think that's achievable?
Yes.
Any caveats on the achievable 5,000 a day?
Well, obviously, if I get hit by a bus tomorrow,
Yeah.
then I won't be able to do it.
What I was talking about was last week when I said if it was achievable. You said on average. So does that?
It's an average. It's going to be an average.
An average. So it's 5,000 per day over how many days?
Over 7 days.
7 days. So by this time next week, how many steps will you have done?
7 times 5.
Which is?
6,000.
35,000. And, you know, you're in control of this. How are you going to achieve it?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Unless
you get hit by a bus. Let's talk about calories.
So the average calories...
We're going to come to the weight loss figure in a second, by the way. We're not far off it, but let's just talk about the calories.
So in terms of calories, obviously, we said about 2,000 average, and it's 1848.
Right. Now, I've got mixed feelings about that. Why do you think I've got mixed feelings?
Because you're going to say, oh, you're not eating enough, but what you've got to do is realise that, and I know you're the one sat there who's slim, and I'm the one who's sat here overweight, or whatever word you want to use, obese.
So just boil it down into a very simple sentence. Why am I worried about that number in the calories?
Because you'd probably say that's perhaps not enough.
Why is it not enough? Why might it be not enough?
Because I'm not getting the vitamins that I need.
Yeah, I'm concerned that you might be becoming malnourished, and you might be losing weight too quickly.
Do I look malnourished?
So those are my concerns.
Right. Okay.
You can still be obese but malnourished. What do you think about my concerns?
Well, if you come here for the day, you're definitely malnourished.
Go on, seriously now. What do you think about my concerns about you being malnourished?
Well, although you're sat there slim and I'm sat here obese, I'm an expert at losing weight.
Are you comfortable with being...
I am comfortable with
that level of calories?
With that level of calories.
What's your target for calories for the next 7 days?
We'll say 2,000.
So what's for the target for the 7 days?
In terms of weights?
Calories?
2,000 a day.
So what's the target for
14,000 calories.
Okay, wonderful.
You've been easily eating in a day in the past.
Well, in the video, you told me that there were 17,000 calories quite frequently per day, you know. Right. I think you said that you were going to tell them the results. And I'm sure everyone's waiting with bated breath. I mean, I know I was before you told me. What's your weight?
We need some flashing lights on the video.
We should have some flashing lights. I'll see if I can get some.
So, started off 32 stone 5 pound, and I weighed today, and I'm now 31 stone.
Wow.
And 10 pound. So that's a weight loss of 9 pounds.
So you've lost 9 pounds in 6 days?
Yes.
Right. How do you feel about that?
I think that's a good start. I did expect, you can expect a larger weight loss in the first week.
Okay.
Let's see.
How do you feel? I'm asking your viewers now. How do you feel about that £9 in 6 days? So I can see a couple of things that concern me about that. One of them, I think it's quite a lot to lose in 6 days. But what might be some of the pitfalls that we experience now going forwards?
Well, that will plateau off at £9 anyway. It won't be £9 every single week.
Why is plateauing off a pitfall?
Because you can, and this is where people fail, because they'll have a couple of good weeks, and then in week 3 you don't lose anything, or you lose £1 or you lose £2,
so,
and then you get disheartened.
And
then when you get disheartened, you then think, what's the point?
So what can we do about that potential scenario?
Well, this is why we're making the video, because I don't want to feel embarrassed having I don't want to do this. I mean, a couple of years ago, I decided to try and lose some weight.
Okay, so if you weren't making a video,
Yeah.
let's say that you were somebody watching this, going on the same journey that you're going on, and I know that several people put that in the comments, what can people do? What would you suggest might be a strategy for coping with that fluctuation or plateauing of measuring on one day and measuring on another day?
Well, I've had a lot of experience over the years of talking to people and people asking me for advice. And all the time, most people have certain things in life that they want to do, they want to achieve. And they can only achieve those things when they feel comfortable to do so and to lose weight. So it's a massive, massive incentive to have things planned, to have things to look forward to, and have things in a list, a wish list, I call it, of things that you want to do and want to achieve that you can aim for.
Right. So I know that you spent some time writing down your dreams and goals and aspirations. You mentioned it in the agenda for this video. But I do want to go back to that moment when you, after you've lost 9 pounds, a week later you've lost nothing. In that moment, what can people do to prevent that becoming a calamity that makes them fall off the wagon?
Well, they've got to remember that in the 2 weeks, that even if they don't lose anything on week 2, that in the 2 weeks they've lost an average of 4.5 pounds, if that was the case.
So take an average, maybe take an average. Well, I have to say, 9 pounds in 6 days is phenomenal, and I look forward to next week, and we'll see what happens next week in terms of this potential for it being peaks and troughs and fluctuations, and talk about how you cope with that. Wonderful. You just mentioned hopes and dreams and aspirations. You've written them all down.
Yeah, I've wrote some down. I've made a list of things that, you know, I'd like to do. And some of the things are, and we've broken them into 2 sections. Let me just find it here. So we've broken them down into sort of deeper aspirations, and then what we've called events. Or
Right. So why have you interested in that? Because you're going to go over there. Why have you divided them into 2 sort of categories there?
Because some of the things that I want to do are just events, but some of the things are more sort of, I suppose, the deeper ones are more general aspirations. They aren't particularly smart goals, but they are aspirations that you know I would like to achieve. They might be more difficult to achieve, but if I can achieve these are for the rest of my life, the deeper ones.
Right.
The short-term ones are just things that I want to do when I've lost some weight.
Okay. What's the benefit of writing down these?
I think it gives you a focus. The more you write down, I would advise anyone trying to lose weight, is write things down as much as you possibly can. Have a spreadsheet on a computer. I did that last time. I had a spreadsheet on a computer. I wrote down my thoughts, my feelings, what I was eating, how many steps I was doing, how many calories I was eating, all of those things, and have targets and goals and things that you want to look forward to. So it might be, oh, I'm going to my mate's 50th birthday party in September, at the end of September, and I want to get into a nice outfit. I've got the works Christmas party coming up, and I'd like to look good for that. Everyone's got these things coming up in their life, little things that they can look forward to and focus on and really use as an incentive. Me and you did 9 Great North runs together. I think you did 8. I did 9.
You did the extra one, didn't you?
And I mean, the one I did on my own was actually the fastest one I did, so you must have been slowing me down.
Maybe, yeah. Well, let me ask you about this. How far into the future is the furthest one away of those in the events column? And how soon can the closest one be?
Well, a lot of these in the events, I mean, having a bath, that to most people is just a normal thing. I find it incredibly difficult.
So in your mind, at what stage in the future, is it 1 month down the road, 2 months down the road, how far into the future will you be able to have a bath?
Probably 6 months.
Right. So we've made that a smart objective now, haven't we?
Yes.
Right. What's the closest one?
Probably going going to the football.
How quickly can you achieve that?
Well, hopefully within a month.
Right, hopefully?
Yes, in sometime in October I'll be able to go to
Right, so when I say hopefully, I don't want to encourage you to make it impossible.
Yeah.
I want you to be realistic. So is it realistic for you to go to the football in 1 month's time?
Yes.
Right, so I mean, the principle being is you've got some wonderful goals and dreams. Some of them are short term, some of them are long term. And what's this one on the left? Deeper. What's that all about?
Well, these are things that are not sort of they're not events. They're not tangible like events might be.
Give us an example.
So I'd like to be pain free. I mean, wouldn't we all? I mean, as we get older, you know, even yourself, Mark, you know, will suffer from aches and pains.
Right. For the record, on a scale of 1 to 10 now, at its worst, what level of pain are you at?
As I sit here right now?
No, generally, at its worst.
Probably 7, 8.
So you reach a 7 or an 8 in pain terms, generally. How often does that happen?
Whenever I'm walking anywhere.
How often?
10, 15 times a day.
How many days?
What do you mean, how many days?
Oh, every day or?
Every day.
Right. So every day, 10 or 15 times a day, you reach a level 8 on your scale pain. Right. Let's see how that changes over the month, right?
Yeah. So I need to tackle the eating disorder because it's we've said this before.
So yeah, I can understand now why you've put them on the side of the page that says deeper. Tackling an eating disorder. Right. Massive.
It is massive.
Yeah. What others?
So we've got things like not being as self-conscious. You know, I'm socially awkward. I'm socially awkward.
Okay. Right, we'll carry on. What other ones have you got?
Being more confident, tackling loneliness, tackling my low self-esteem.
Right. These are very deep things, aren't they? So how do you feel about sharing your attempts to solve those issues with people that are watching?
Well, I think, yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? We could perhaps make future videos of you know, going and doing these things that I want to do and tackling.
So again, I'm not being sneaky, but who's responsible for changing that?
Well, it's not a sneaky question, Mark.
What's the answer then?
The answer's me.
Going for a walk.
Going for a walk. You know, proper walk. I don't mean the little piddly bit of walking that we might do later on. We'll have a little walk later.
What's a proper walk then? How many miles is a proper walk?
Going for a 5-mile walk.
5-mile walk, right. I want to say something now. So again, it must be 18 months ago. Charlie and I set out from his house in Failsworth and we walked all the way to Rochdale and then we got the tram back. How long was that walk from your house to Rochdale in miles?
It was over 10 miles, Mark.
10 miles, and that, how long ago was that?
About 18 months ago, like
so
maybe 2 years ago.
It feels like it's there within your grasp.
Yeah.
So would that be considered a proper walk?
Absolutely.
Right, so when are we going to do that walk again? I want a date.
March.
What date in March?
Shall I just pluck a date?
You decide the date in March.
I might be working, but let's say 10th of March.
The 10th of March, we're walking from Failsworth to Rochdale on the canal.
We'll make a video as well.
We'll make a video. If you want to come,
yes,
join us.
Hey, what a great idea.
Right, wonderful. What others?
You know, I put this next one and then I thought, oh, maybe not.
What is it?
It's something we've done before. Clubbing.
Let's go clubbing.
Should we go clubbing?
When are we going clubbing? Put a date on it. Should we do it at Christmas?
No.
We're going clubbing at Christmas.
All right, okay.
Yeah, together. And you can come if you want to.
Yeah. I want to go on one of them. This is from one extreme to the other, this. Because clubbing with the youngsters.
Yeah.
And I'd like to go on one of them coach holidays with the old grandmas.
Well, let's do it.
Them.
Let's do it.
I love
We've
them.
been to Torquay 3 times. Let's go on a coach trip to Torquay. I want you to put dates on those. What's the benefit of putting dates on them?
Well, something to aim for, something to look forward to. Yeah.
Right, there's a risk that this video is going to become an hour-long special,
Right,
so
okay.
we probably need to...
I want to go on day trips, I want to wear some nice clothes, I want to go to a theatre, I went to bingo the other week. I'd like to go to bingo. I want to walk into a bingo where I've perhaps used to work, and people say, "Oh, it's great to see you, Charlie," rather than people saying, "You put weight on."
Wonderful. A list of dreams, goals, hopes and aspirations.
I can add to that.
He's going to add to it. There's no dates on it. Are you going to add the dates?
We'll put some dates on.
Wonderful. And I will look forward to our walk and our night out clubbing. I'm going to give you that back because it's got your agenda on it and I can't remember what you're doing next.
Well, we were going to talk about what we're going to do next in terms of making videos. Now, we're going to make a video about the maths behind. I'm a bit conscious I keep taking and putting my glasses on.
It's all right. You look a bit Larry Grayson, but it's fine.
Harder for you to edit this. But we're going to talk about the mathematics behind weight loss, and we'll do another video. So this video will be in between week 2 and week 3 updates.
So generally, as a rule, we'll do a weekly update, and we might pop a few extras in between.
Couple of extras. Because years ago we did a great walking video, but we can do that as well at some point. You know, the benefits of going walking. So we've got loads of ideas, and if you've got any ideas, then do let us know, and we can incorporate them into future ones.
Okay. I have a YouTube channel. I've mentioned it several times, and I know what helps. Right. So what would be really helpful, and I'm speaking on Charlie's behalf here because I know he won't ask. If you could subscribe, continue watching, hit the notifications bell, comment, like the video, share the video. It will all help the YouTube algorithm promote Charlie's plight. So that would be my special request. Any final words?
No, but just thank you, really. All the people that have commented, all the people that have liked the video, all the people that have shared it. My sister has shared it with all her friends, so thank you for that, Jackie. That's lovely. And yeah, thank you, everybody. It's really good to know that people really do care and really want, you know, other people to be successful, because, you know, we can knock people, can't we, sometimes in this country? But
you always have your knockers.
You do.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.